Hey guys, I do apologize. I kind of messed up and cut myself off in the last video while I was working on the Freebirds. So I either could make the choice to do this video from scratch, or I could just continue on from where I left off. God, I hate myself sometimes. I'm gonna continue on, guys. The last video was only 12 minutes. It wasn't too bad. I hate having to break this into individual, break this up into two pieces, especially when it's kind of cut off right in the middle. But I don't want to lose that work I've just done. So as a continuation from the last video, Freebirds, Michael Hayes, Jimmy Garvin. I kind of had these guys standing up, and one of the figures fell over and hit one of the arrow buttons and stopped the recording. It's a mess. So one of my favorite figures was Arn Anderson. So in the original U.S. version, I don't know if you can see it on here. Probably can't. So you can see on top of the hair right here, this little circle. It looks like it's a little bit darker than the rest of his hair. So there's an Arn Anderson with red trunks, white in the back, and he has one where his head is bald, and then there's this one and then there's a second one where he doesn't have a bald spot. So those are the two U.S. exclusives, or two U.S. versions. And then, of course, with the U.K. exclusive, he doesn't have a bald spot, and he has all red as opposed to red and white. Not the best fighting pose at all. Kind of like a Bam Bam Bigelow, LJN fighting pose. But when you compare it to a lot of what Galoob has put together, the Arn Anderson fighting pose is actually one of the better ones. And I'm trying to see if there's like problem. What sucks about this is that you got like this, you kind of when someone's too heavy and you kind of like dangling them by your midsection and whatnot. You don't have that like over the shoulder body slam pose. So is it a great figure? No, but I mean it does. I mean, again, it's better than some. It's better than Lex Luger. It's definitely better than Ron Simmons. So these figures, I like these a whole lot better than the original. Same pose, just a different paint scheme, and it is the Steiner Brothers. Scott Steiner, I used to love Scott Steiner. Between the Steiner Brothers, he was my favorite among the two. And then you see him years later, and then just like full of steroids and just looks so freaking odd, man. Like, I don't know what he did to himself. Just looks insane. Like, I'm not talking about insane as in bulky and fun wrestler to watch. I'm talking about like literally psychotic. But I guess that's what the drugs do to you, man. Just so sad to see one of my favorites end up that way. But his UK exclusive, definitely better than the yellow and black, I think. Colors aren't that amazing, but I mean, it's still, I like it a lot better. So I mentioned before, with Random Treasures, they came out with the Mr. Perfect exclusive figure for them. And he's got this exact same pose. And the reason I rated that Mr. Perfect so low on my favorite Random Treasure figures is because of the terrible fighting pose. Can't really do anything with it. But we have Scott Steiner, and then we have a much better, much brighter, much colorful Rick Steiner. Again, in the early days, the original Steiner Brothers, Ric Flair, Sid Vicious. We had Ron Simmons. I'm trying to think if I had any other figure. I can't recall. Anyways, this would have been probably my second or third favorite figure at the time, based on fighting pose alone. Just like Ric Flair, has that arms down, spread apart, hunched over. I don't know why so many of these figures are like that. And it's why I say Galoob didn't do a lot of good things fighting pose-wise with their figures. With the Hasbro, even if they have, similar poses, the fact that you could raise their arms up and down, you could do body slams, you could bring the arms up for a clothesline. If you want to do that little underarm punch, you could lower the arm if you wanted to while keeping the figure stationary. So I mean, it's why I love the Hasbro so much. You could just do so much with those figures. You know, they're pretty stationary for the most part, but the ability to move those arms up and down, especially if they're not wailing all over the place too. I mean, that's pretty incredible. Right. So I'm bringing this one up only because I don't have the exclusive for Series 2. This is a Series 1 run Simmons. Series 2, his pants are a little bit lighter shade of blue, and he had like a white streak down the pant legs. But you can see why I think Ron Simmons, if it weren't for the fused hands on the LJN Rick Rude, this would easily be the single worst figure ever created. And I have no idea what anybody was thinking when they decided this was a good idea. I had this as a kid. I absolutely hated it for play. And the only reason I used it is because, you know, especially a lot of times if I had, you know, a Royal Rumble, we want to put 30 figures together. You know, that's where we had to really, you know, be creative and come up with different characters to kind of fight in our Rumbles. So, horrible figure. Absolutely hate it. Butch Reed was a great fighting pose. That would have made a perfect, I guess, UK exclusive. But making two of these guys, what were they thinking? I mean, one was bad enough. Two was just. So then we've got the Greg Valentine pose, and I mentioned in video number 1. What did I say? Lost my train of thought for a second there. So they took the LJN Greg Valentine and they put Barry Windham in the same fighting pose. So in my initial video, I selected the black trunks Barry Windham as a better figure than the blue trunks, but I mean, either way, it's a fantastic piece and one of the best fighting poses of any of the Galoob figures. And I think at one point I had Butch Reed at number 2 among the fighting poses. I ended up pushing him back a spot or 2. I can't remember. But I pushed him back, and Barry Windham took over as the number 2 spot among the fighting poses. Fantastic piece. Absolutely love it. This one is definitely a figure that deserved to have 2 pieces to it. So one of the most beautiful Galoob figures is the Dustin Rhodes figure. The artwork in color on this, especially when you look at like the boots, you know, little tassels on the back of his vest or the front. This Dustin Rhodes figure is an elite figure. But just like Jimmy Garvin, Rick Steiner, Ric Flair, so many figures that have these legs apart, arms apart, hands down, hunched over, body. I don't know why Galoob makes so many figures hunched over like that. It just makes no sense. It's crazy. This figure, I actually got 2 of these now. I know I bought one from a seller. Actually, I'm trying to think if I bought 2 of them from overseas or if I got one from overseas. I know I bought at least one overseas. I probably paid like $50 or $60 for it, and then I probably paid another $60 in shipping. And you know what? I think I got this one. This was the first one I got. This was part of a collection that I bought, or a lot of figures. So between purchase price and shipping, I probably paid over $200 for that one. But at least this one came with like 6 or 7 other figures. So, but in general, this figure will normally sell for easily around $100. Is it one of the most overrated figures? Could have been on among my list of figures. I think so. Because to be honest, I don't care if it's a brand spanking new Galoob in package figure. You know, never opened. There's not a single Galoob figure that's worth $50 in my opinion. I don't care if it's 30 years old and the package isn't in condition. Nothing Galoob wise is that valuable to me. Same thing with original San Francisco. Great figures, I love them and everything, but even package figures, I mean, most of the time I don't think are more or should be valued more than $30. Especially come back in the day when they only sold for $3 to $5. So you buy something for $3 back in the day, you sell it for 10 times as much as $30 today. I mean, I love this set, but I mean, original San Francisco, paying $100 on this, great buy because it sells for $250 on other places, but to me, $20 on that at most. So it's kind of disappointing. So this is not an original. Do I plan on getting an original? I want to say eventually yes. It is the Big Josh figure, and I ordered this one, I want to say from Krem's Closet. Yeah, I think I got this from Krem's Closet, and I got that 123 Kid. So one of my past videos when I said what happened to eBay in 2022, this one came in pretty great, but then I got that 123 Kid custom, which was just absolute trash. So I kind of looked at this online compared to the original figure, and forget the glossy look and everything. The color isn't quite right. It's not 100% accurate to the original, but I mean, I paid $100 on this, and I kind of slapped myself in the face thinking about it, because I could just shell out another $100, $130 extra, got an original, because nobody's gonna be fooled between these two thinking that this is an original. I mean, I'm not trying to sell it or anything. I mean, I bought it because I want it for my collection. But one day, if I end up getting the original figure, I'm gonna have no need for this one. And if I try to sell it, I'm not gonna be able to sell this for $100. I already know it. How often are you gonna come across someone like me, desperate enough to complete a collection, and to spend out $100 on this? And I'm gonna want to say, okay, well, what about taxes? What about shipping? That means it's worth $110. So I'm gonna have to list it for $110, right? But then people always want to talk you down. Offer you a lower price. So now you gotta put a listing price of like $130, $150, because if you want to get $110 for it at a minimum, you gotta have a listing price of $150, so that if someone's watching it, you come in $40 under, they think they're getting an excellent price, which technically I guess they would be. I mean, they're just basically paying for it what I would have paid for it. Not my all-time favorite figure. Obviously, I selected the black trunks, black suit as my favorite, but Sid Vicious figure, UK exclusive. I finally pulled the trigger on this. I paid like $120 from the UK, and then shipping costs, ridiculous. And of course, right after I got this in, maybe a week or so later, one of my favorite sellers on eBay. So Nathan over at Ohio Figures has this listed as well. Currently, I'm highest bidder, $62, but I think some of these figures, like the Ric Flair red trunks, the Dustin Rhodes, if I do win the Sid Vicious with pink outfit, I'm probably gonna put those off to the side in like a little casing or something. Probably won't necessarily display those, but these figures will sit out as my display. It's kind of disappointing because I had to buy one of these belts recently, and I thought I was getting a great deal, $11 for 4 belts, because they had 4 belts pictured, and it turns out they were only selling 1 belt at a time. So I ended up paying $11, accepting an offer for $11 for a belt, and then with shipping and taxes, it came out to be like $17. And on eBay, I once bought a lot of 4 for like $20. So, there are people who will sell belts in perfect condition, or great condition at least, and for a very fair price. I told the seller I didn't want it, but then I'm like, you know what, forget it. I already committed to it. Let me go ahead and buy it. So I bought this belt, and it looks great. I do have a number of figures here that don't have belts, so I have to go back and get some more of them. So that is the complete collection of... Actually, there was a... I'm trying to think if I'm missing a figure or two. So I know I'm missing Ron Simmons, and I'm trying to think what else am I missing. Cause I think I got all of them. I can't remember off the top of my head. Because I thought I was missing 2 figures. Because I got 29 figures over there, and there's supposed to be 31. So I know Ron Simmons obviously is one. I'm trying to think what the second one was. It has to be something in the lines of Big Josh. Anyways. But guys, that is the Galoob exclusives from the UK. Hopefully this one meshes well with the viewers a little better than my first set of videos. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm probably gonna post both video 1 and 2 of this review on the same day at the same time, because again, I messed myself up by by stopping the video right in the middle, so it only makes sense to put them together. So again, I did 3 videos today. One will be posted today, the first. One will be posted on Thursday, and then these 2 Galoob videos will be posted next Sunday on the 8th of May. And yeah, so trying to say what's coming up. So I keep ordering new shelving for my basement here. They're either out of stock or whatnot, but I've been waiting for weeks. The first couple I got in, those came in like 2 days. I've ordered a shelf. It took like 3 or 4 weeks. Hasn't come in. Ordered 2 more. Says that no longer in stock. So I'm like, oh heck. I'm trying my best to build up a good collection of different horror themed products. I don't know if I want to keep them all in the basement here, because based on how I have my room set up, I really don't have the space to do that. But I don't want to keep them upstairs in one of the spare bedrooms either. So I kind of want to keep all the collections together. I'm sure I'll come up with something. Right now, I'm still getting boxes in. I'm still buying more of the classic superstars. So I bid on those like crazy. So I probably get several boxes in on a weekly basis. So this room is pretty much filling up with a lot of collectibles, and so I'm kind of desperate for those things to come in. And of course, with the recessed lights I had installed, there's still a number of holes in the walls. Still waiting on my handyman to come back and work on those. And I really can't situate anything until those get cleaned up anyways. So one of the people that are building our closets, they're going to update one of our master bedroom closets. They're going to update our pantry. And I also have them installing a new shelf into... I don't know if they're going to build a shelf or if they're going to find a way to actually connect it to the wall. So that's going to be another one that's going to be down here. So I'll have extra storage space. So I'm kind of looking forward to having them installed, because I want to do another room tour, especially when I add in all the horror collections. And I think it's really going to start to take shape. Alright guys, don't want to take up too much of your time. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy these videos, and I will hopefully talk to you guys in the comments. Goodbye everyone.